We are going to discuss the backing up, restoring of iOS, saving settings, installing settings of the router. We are going to discuss iOS name, its features and things like that, understand iOS image properly, setting up of TFTP server, installing things like that, practically show you things. So let's start our discussion on such topic. So I am on my router, so let's see which version of iOS we are using on this router. So going to show version will show us. Okay, now here you can see this is our router. We are using version 12.1 of Cisco Internet Working Operating System. You can see 12.1 version of iOS, and the bootstrap version is 11.3. Further you can go, you can see this is our flash file C2600 ISMZ.12.1. this is the version. So what is this stuff, this ISMZ and 121-20, it's version, but what is this stuff, all this all stuff is? So I'll tell you a bit later. Just see that this one is a version, and this is our image, iOS image. Further you can see our RAM and memory, flash memory. You can see 32 KB for our non-volatile configurations, 8 MB of our flash memory. This is our default configuration, so that we can load our configuration from NVRAM. So this is the version of iOS we are using for our router, and this is the image file for our router. So let me show you 2950 switch image file, and then we will discuss these iOS image file. Like, their names are kind of very confusing name. So I'm going to explain you such things so that we can understand what you're going to see some for the same platform, but different iOS images, there are categories of iOS images. So I'm going to tell you, explain you a bit so that we can understand what kind of iOS image we are going to use for our routers and switches. So let me show you switch settings, same settings which I show you for my router, going to show you same settings for switch. So right now I'm on my 2950 Cisco Catalyst switch. So let's see which version of iOS we are using on this switch 2950. So same command, show version, sorry, wrong spell, it is N. Okay, here you can see we are using 12.1. this version of iOS we are using under this switch, and this is the image file. This is the iOS image C2950, and this i6q412mz dot version. So what is all this? Okay, now let's move towards discussing such iOS images. Then we will move towards setting up our TFTP server, and after that we'll start our practical work of copying, backing up such stuff, flash images, iOS images and settings, things like that. So let's start discussing such iOS images. Okay, now we are on our discussion. Now this is the image we are using for our 2610 router. You can see C2600 ISMZ 120-5.bin, and this is the image we are using for our Cisco 2950 switch. You can see. Now what is the meaning of all these stuff in its long name? Well, I represent such things, you can see under by coloring this stuff. Now the pink color representing that what platform is being using for this image. Like, we are using 2610, so the platform you can see here in the pink C2600 it represents that this image belongs to that platform. Now IS is representing the features, and you can see M is the format. M means it will run on RAM, and Z, green color, representing its compression. Z means its zip, and version. You can see purple in version, and .bin its extension .bin. So 120-5, it is its version of iOS. Same is the case with the Cisco Catalyst switch C2950 representing the platform. i6q412 is the features. M is the format telling that it will run on the RAM, and Z representing its compression, it is zip, and purple color representing the version of iOS. Well, these are all kind of iOS. Now it is a time of 12.4 and plus iOS version is using. So in today's world, it is more easy to select your iOS version because it come in total in such categories. Like you can see, all things are same, but you can see in orange color its features. Now it is more easy to select your iOS version. It comes with 12.3 iOS version and later. So IP base means IP basic commands, IP basic iOS, IP voice representing IP voice. Now advanced security similar, but K9 it comes now new iOS version and kind of advanced iOS coming with K9. It's encryption. It is strong encryption. So SP service provider services, enterprise base, out of that advanced IP services, enterprise services, and advanced enterprise K9. So the final one, it is the full-fledged iOS version. Now everything is simple, just focus on these because these are the using, but under lab environment everyone has the right to use old routers, old iOS images, everything's been using. Okay, further you can go to this link. Cisco explained things related to iOS and under this link in good detail. You can go through, but I think such kind of discussion is much more enough. Now we understand, because you're going to see for same platform but these kind of iOS images, so you can recognize that this iOS images belongs to these features and things like that, but later things are same, like its compression, format, version will be in purple color. I told you it is it comes with 12.3 and later versions. So do have a visit this link. Okay, now let's move towards setting up TFTP server. Before you using to install any TFTP server, you must configure your router or your switch in this way. Like you must use kind of Ethernet port, and your IP addresses both IP addresses must belong to same subnet. Like the router configured 10.10.10.1 and PC is configured with 10.10.10.2. So both IP addresses belong to same subnet. So just configure your router in this style and switch also. Well, now after you configuring such stuff, now you want to install iOS images, backing up and things like that, saving settings, installing such settings. So now we are moving toward installing a good TFTP server and then start our work on terminal emulator. So let me show you a TFTP server which I recommend to use. So let me show you. Well, we are using all these three hyperterminals. After that I installed a TFTP server. Its name is TFTP GUI. Well, it is a free TFTP server. It is open source. You can see license GPL, free for everyone. Okay, now just go to setup, select your root folder from where you are installing such iOS images and settings, and from where you are installing and backing up from iOS images. I select my desktop. You can also use select the log file so you can check the logs. Okay, it will be more okay to allow any. After that, just apply such settings and you are up and go. Start your TFTP server. Everything is working. Okay, make sure we have configured our router and switch, things like that. Now we start our TFTP server. Now we are going to operate a router from where we are going to backup and install our flash, our iOS settings, things like that. Now it will work. Definitely it is going to work. So let's go to our router terminal. We are using TerraTerm. So let's go to our TerraTerm from where we are going to install such things. Okay, now my TFTP server is running. Okay, let's ping to my TFTP server and see ping is replying or not. Ping, as I mentioned, IP address of my PC is 10.10.10.2. Okay, everything is working. Now I'm going to check my iOS file which I showed you before in the same visuals. Now first of all, what I'm going to do is I am going to save this iOS image to my PC. Now TFTP server is settled, ping is working. Now let's move towards backing up this iOS image. What is the command to back up my iOS image? Well, it is copy space. I am saving this iOS image from flash of my router to my PC, and my PC is connected as TFTP server. So this is the command, copying from flash to TFTP. Copy flash to TFTP. Now press enter. What is the file name I am going to save? Because this command is telling the router to copy something from flash to TFTP. So I have to mention what thing I'm going to save from flash to TFTP. So this is the file. Enter the name including .bin. Press enter. So enter the address of the TFTP server. The address is 10.10.10.2. Press enter. Destination file should be remain same as it mentioned. Okay, it should be. Press enter, and here it is. Now it is saving this iOS image to my system. This, just check this out, my TFTP server. It is receiving this file, and file transfer requested by this IP address 10.10.10.1. So this is the way how you copy or backup your iOS image to your system. And as I mentioned, I just showed you that I select my desktop to save such files. Here you can see, let me show you. You can see this file is now saving here and in desktop. So let's this backup this process be complete. We will move towards installing the iOS image into router's flash memory. Okay, here you can see the process of backing up this iOS image is completed. So the size of the iOS image was almost 7.5 MB. It took 353 seconds, almost 354 seconds. Now what I'm going to do is well, I am now installing that iOS image back to my flash memory. So that we just go through such process, we should feel comfortable in time of doing such process again in practical or in real production level or things like that. Okay, now I'm going to do is just same command, copy. Now this time from TFTP server to my flash memory. Enter and press press enter. After that you have to enter the address of TFTP server. Now here what you are going to do is just you entered your TFTP server 10.10.10.2. now enter the source file. The source file is same. Now it is on my desktop. So this is the source file you are going to copy to your flash memory of the router. Okay, now here what you're going to do is just press enter. Destination file should be remain same. Okay, press enter. There is a file already existing with this name. Do you want to overwrite? Yes, I want to overwrite this. Erase flash before copying. Yes, we have to erase my flash memory because my flash memory of this router is 8192. So you cannot copy two files of 7.5 MB. So yes, I have to erase my flash memory before copying. So press enter. It is warning me that erasing the flash file system will remove all files. I know. Press enter. Now it is erasing that flash file, that flash memory it has of 8 MB and 192 KB. Now it is erasing, and erasing is almost completed. You can see now it is copying from flash memory, from my TFTP server to flash memory. Almost reverse step which we have done before. Okay, this is the process is happening here on the terminal emulator. So let me show you this TFTP server. You can see it is sending the file. Before that it was receiving the file. So it is sending. Let this process complete. I'll join you again. It will take time. Depends upon router speed and RAM, etc. Okay, now installation of iOS image is completed, you can see here. And let me show you the whole process of copying my iOS image into flash memory of my router. It took 355, almost 356 seconds. So let's see flash, show flash. Okay, it has only one file of almost same size, and out of the total flash memory is 8192. Now we have gone through two important process of now backing up iOS image and installing iOS image. Now let's see how we can save the configurations, actually backup configurations, and how we install the configurations into router. So first step, same copy configuration, startup configuration. I am saving my startup configuration to my PC. Same process, press enter. Now enter the IP address of your TFTP server, which is 10.10.10.2. Destination file name, you can router-config, it is okay. Press enter. Now it is copied. It took less than 1 second. Let me show you. So this is the configuration which I have copied from my router to my PC. Now things are happened like you have configured some heavy configuration implementation and you want to save such configuration. For example, now you copied such configuration in your system. Whenever you want to apply such configurations or from recovering, you have no time to configure your configurations. So just go press copy from TFTP server to startup config. Press enter. Enter the address of your TFTP server, which is same 10.10.10.2. Now source file name. The source file name, you can see it is router-confg. You entered the source file name, destination file name should be startup config. It is okay. Press enter. Now it took a little time, and it will configure. It will apply such configuration into your startup configurations. The same configuration almost, just for checking. Okay, now loading router configuration. It will take a little time. Loading my router-config. Yes, it is taking. Let's see, TFTP server. Transfer aborted. It will take time. Things have happened. Now almost done. Loading of router config from 10.10.10.2 via Ethernet. It is okay. Now it is applying such configurations. Now you can see here the process of applying such configuration is completed. It took almost 52 seconds. You can see here, and things are working now. Okay, you can save your running configuration also if you want to. Just copy running configuration to TFTP server as a backup. Backing up your running configuration, press enter. Enter the address, which is same. The file name router config. Now this time just change this file name because it has already router config 2. It will good. Okay, now it is copied. If you want to apply such configurations back, almost same process. Now we have backed up our iOS, we have backed up our running startup configuration, running configuration. We have applied, install our iOS image, and we have installed such configurations also. So this is the whole process of copying and installing iOS and your startup configurations and NVRAM, etc. So let me get into switch also. So same is the process, but let me show you some configuring some little things. Okay, now I'm on my switch, Cisco 2950 Catalyst switch. Now first let me see the version of my iOS image. You can see here it has 24 fast Ethernet ports, 32 KB of non-volatile configuration, and this is the image my switch is using. Now the same process, just copy your flash to TFTP, same process, same thing will happen. And from installing, it was for backing up, and for installing your iOS image, to your switch. Just same process, copy TFTP to your flash memory and things like that. I'm not going to do this. So it is almost done. We have gone through such process, but let me copy startup configuration so that we can see the process of switch. Almost it is same, just copy startup config and your TFTP server. Now enter the address of your TFTP, which is same throughout this switch configuration. Okay, name is okay for me. So it took all very less than 1 minute, very less than 1 second. It took 0.112 seconds. So this is how you save your configurations. You backed up your configurations. Now let me show you. We have backed up this from the router, this from router, this from router also, and this switch configuration right now from switch. If you want to save your switch running configuration, the same is the process. Copy running configuration to TFTP. Okay, now enter the TFTP server, which is same 10.10.10.2. Enter switch configuration. It has this name. Let me change this, switch config 2. Okay, press enter and switch config 2. Okay, the process is completed. It took 1.156 seconds, and now my running configuration of switch is also saved. Let me show you my desktop. Please take a side. Okay, here you can see we saved this running configuration, startup configuration of my switch, and this is the running configurations. If you want to backup, the same is the process. Copy. Okay, if you want to copy your running configuration into your startup configuration, it is simple. TFTP to running configuration to startup configuration, as I told you. Enter the remote address. Okay, now source file name, because this is the running configuration of our router, so I have to enter this name, switch dash config 2. Press enter. Destination file startup config, yes it is, it should be. Press enter. It is accessing and loading via VLAN 2. Okay, 183 4 bytes, almost done. You can see TFTP GUI, the process of transferring this running configuration into startup configuration of my 2950 switch has been done. Okay, now everything is up and go. We have almost done of installing and backing up, installing and backing up these iOS and configuration files. So while configuring our routers installation and backing up iOS images, I applied this scenario. For switch, I applied this scenario. Okay, with this I am concluding this visuals. We have performed backing up, restoring iOS images, configurations, NVRAM, etc. If you feel any problem, just replay these visuals and be prepared for upcoming visuals. Thank you.